Woman of Reddit, what is your "I'm the client not my husband stop ignoring me" story? Was invited to a weekend away with a supplier to launch their new range. My husband went with, and on the order day the financial manager of the supplier came up to my husband and asked him what he thinks about the new range and what he is considering to buy. My husband replied very dryly that he is only the +1 and that he must speak to me, seeing that I'm the one with the cheaper book. I'm that husband lol. My wife is a RVT, registered veterinary technician. Think RN but for animals. We took a work vacation last year for a conference she wanted to go to out of state. It was only a few days, so we decided to just extend it and make a vacation of it. I'm there with her at the zoo getting a behind the scenes look at stuff. Super cool, by the way. I got to pet an elephant and feed a giraffe, and someone is asking me technical questions and I'm like I'm the +1. Loving the zoo though. That happened to me at a veterinarian conference a few years ago. Another doctor asked me how I was enjoying the lectures and stuff, and I told him my wife was the DVM. I'm just here to drink and play golf. When I was buying my house, I took my boyfriend with me to the viewing, and realtor was talking mostly to him and even ended up calling him with bids on a house. Yes, the house I purchased all on my own and is mine. I don't take myself too seriously, and I'm not easy to upset or embarrass, so I didn't really care. I was riding high on a wave of winning a bidding war. This is mine too. My husband and I were selling our home and buying a new one. He is self-employed, so everything with the ownership was only me and my income, same as our first time buying. The realtor kept referring to my husband for the whole process. Realtor would ignore my texts, calls, and emails. I would call him with a question, leave it on his VM, and then he would call my husband with a response. I was being completely ignored, so my husband ended up calling the realtor and very sternly letting him know that I was in charge of everything related to the buying, selling, qualifying, etc., and that all questions, paperwork, and information should go solely to me. For some reason the dude couldn't believe that I, as a female, was selling a home I had purchased on my own and was buying a new home on my own. I'm an army veteran. My debit card is with a military affiliated bank. Every time I pay for dinner at a restaurant they bring it back, set it in front of my husband, and say thank you for your service. My husband was never in the military. The card has my name on it, and sometimes they even watched me pull it out of my bag. I have also been by myself somewhere, paid for something with the card, and had the person see the card, look at me and say, "Oh, was your husband or dad in the military?" No, they were not. I was. Thank you. To be very clear, I do not want or need to be thanked for my service. This August I bought a new truck and took my boyfriend with. He is white and I'm Mexican. We arrived at the dealership and I asked about the Explorer they had front and center. Salesman comes over and is asking a bunch of questions to my BF. He told him it's for me. I was ignored for the entire conversation. I got up and started looking at the truck. A Hispanic salesman comes and asks me if I need help. I was out of there within 1.5 hours, keys in hand. Found my BF with the other salesman. I looked at BF and said I bought the one I wanted. Manny G got me squared away. The look of utter disappointment and anger on the guy's face was worth it. My BF chuckled and said I told you she was the one buying. Manny, you were great. I hope this doesn't get buried, because it's my absolute favorite thing. My husband and I were buying a new mattress. It was a joint decision on the feel of it, but my decision for the price point / warranty / etc, because I was paying for it. In other words, all the stuff we actually needed the salesperson for. Salesperson was a fine guy, old fashioned, not overtly rude, but he was definitely talking to my husband more than to me, the one with the money to pay. I noticed, but I'm used to it. I was going to get my info and pay the man. Whatever. My husband, bless him, wandered away all floaty, like he'd never seen a furniture store before. Weird, but okay. Then he came back and said, "Hey, can I have some money? I'm going to go check out the insert dumb little decorative thing in the other part of the store." I was weirded out, because I have never seen him care about a lamp enough to go examine it on his own, and also we don't do that, but yeah. I said, "Sure," and handed him some cash. The salesman immediately stopped paying attention to my husband. Suddenly, in his mind, I was wearing all the pants. He started asking me what I did for a living, etc., and I was able to negotiate for a slightly lower price. I love my husband so much. He knew exactly what he was doing. I took my colleague out to lunch. He wasn't a subordinate, he was at the same level. However, I was given a company card and he wasn't, due to the nature of our jobs. When the bill came around, the waitress gave it to him because she assumed he would be paying. He graciously grabbed the bill and gave it to me and said, "Shh, the boss." Smart move, made me feel validated, and he got a free lunch. I was buying a new sports car. My husband and I walk into the dealership and the sales guy walks up holding his hand out to shake my husband's hand and asks how he can help. Fine, no biggie. My husband says she's buying, not me. Sales guy glances at me and says to my husband, "Well, it's not just her decision, right?" We left and I bought my new sports car elsewhere. Fucking asshole. The dealership that I absolutely adore won my affection when they asked who the car was for. I said me. He not only turned his full attention to me, but offered my husband and toddler snacks and a TV in the lounge. The rest of the deal was done solely with me. I have a chronic pain disease that runs in the family. I noticed that my father and male relatives had no problem securing pain meds, but that my doctors would never give me any, despite clearly indicating how much pain I was in. So I started bringing either my father or my husband to my medical appointments, which is hugely intrusive. Would have them repeat how much pain I was in, and lo and behold, suddenly I get pain medication. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.